One day you find yourself drawn to a familiar past, longing for a trip down memory lane. And what better way to relieve that longing than with some Left 4 Dead 2? As you fire up the game, you feel your heart ache. Something is missing. Of course, the Steam Workshop. How could you forget? You instantly visit the treasure trove of mods and begin searching. While you're mindlessly clicking on mods such as the California Girls healing animation, the workshop pulls you deeper into a never-ending hunt. That's when you stumble upon something that catches your eye. A map based around GTA San Andreas' Grove Street. Without hesitation, you download the map along with the extra 2 maps that come with it. Diving in headfirst, you play a few rounds of survival and you're having a blast. Getting a closer look upon the map, you appreciate all the San Andreas references alongside some interesting additions. But as you explore the map further, an eerie feeling begins lingering over you. Random imagery, dead bodies scattered everywhere, and a gnome? Could the creator have just placed all of this coincidentally? No, it wasn't placed there without a rhyme or reason. Something is happening on this map and you set out to find the truth behind it as realization hits you. The realization that you've stumbled upon the darkest Left 4 Dead 2 ARG. On the r/ARG subreddit, a post surfaced by the user BitterMud1530, who detailed a very eerie discovery of a QR code hidden inside a map that is linked alongside the post. I took it into my own hands to scout out the map myself to get a personal glance and due to extra coverage. From a first view, the map seemed nothing more than a recreation of the Grove Street section from San Andreas. The map itself has been played by many others who haven't called out anything out of the ordinary within their experience. I downloaded the map, where an extra 2 maps came alongside it, one being Terror on Grove Street, which only offers a rainy version of the original, and CJ's House 2. Like that began the search in a lone, survival session with no other mods being included to ensure complete freshness. But I didn't start the survival timer. No, I sought out for anything that would send a shiver down my spine. While the houses themselves were hollow on the inside, it wasn't long before I came across a gnome alongside the iconic San Andreas jetpack. Seems to be out of place, but as I took a peek behind it, a ghostly figure could be spotted on the wall. Not something that I found terrifying, surprising at most as I continued finding dead ragdolls, Sonic, and all sorts of anomalies with no sign of the mentioned QR code. Having no success in my search, I wondered to myself if this was even the right map. Was I missing something? Hoping for a different result, I entered CJ's House, the second map that came along. The replica was a joyful sight, with item animations similar to those of the original game and even memorable vehicles. Taking in the beauty of the map, it too offered interactables, like the CJ ragdoll that flew around the map when you pressed certain buttons. Then there was that gnome again. Something really feels off about him. Pressing the button he guards summons the infamous Oppressor Mark II, which flies through the air across the map. I was slowly becoming lost as it felt like there was no puzzle pieces to pick up from the beginning, like it was all a fluke. As time went on, I became desperate, which resulted in me enabling noclip, where my progress immediately gained velocity. For starters was a bloody sign reading Yixmen that I found in a hidden room, which was just another point of proof that this map hides something. And following right after is when I found it. Out from this wooden door peeked what would be the primary lead of this mystery. Phasing through, I was met with a towering picture displaying a cult-themed cloaked figure, and right below it was the QR code. All I wondered was, had I missed any similar clues or codes on the other maps? The truth being that the same QR code was spotted on all 3 maps. Although not denying the fact that CJ's house was a focal point for our research, it offering the code and a Yixman sign with a side of extra details pointing towards a disturbance. What had me on edge at most was how many players have spent minutes, if not hours, playing the map without having a clue about the extremely dark rabbit hole hiding right beneath their nose. Now, before we head first into uncovering the files that hide behind, I was still left out of context on who created these maps. I instantly began looking into the user as finding him connected back to a certain someone we've seen before. Such an innocent and iconic piece of Left 4 Dead 2, acting as the symbol of a dark mystery. I even risked my life to save the gnome for an achievement. The profile includes extra mention of the Yixmen that was spotted earlier, which titles two of the groups the creator is a part of. Here, I instantly knew getting down to the bottom of this on my own would be a difficult task. In the search of any help, I reached out to the original poster, that being the exact same person who discovered the map and its deepest secrets. A reply came through, which led us to connecting on Discord, where Nick shared his research with me, including a Word file alongside it. This document contained information on the project that helped me in my research deeply. I will too use it for my own coverage with the approval of Nick himself. To give credit where it's due, the Word file was created by Nick with the help of his friends Yolo and Psina. A shout out to them, as it has allowed quick access and extra details I very possibly could have missed without it. But we won't be leaving Reddit just yet, as the most unsettling detail appears below the post, that being a reply from the user Kozeno02222, who issues a silent warning. Friend, don't get involved in that. That Yixmen thing is a powerful sect. The commenter puts an extra layer of questions to what connections they could have with the Yixmen, but when looking at their account, a couple of deleted posts can be spotted. The so-called posts were thankfully saved by Nick, who sent them over and opened a new path to my conclusion. The deleted posts talk about a person known as Sebastian and his friend, who ends up being none other than Kozeno, the commenter. The posts talk about how one day the two friends came across a USB stick in an abandoned hotel. The flash drive contained an executable game that Sebastian attempted to run, which infected his computer with a virus, corrupting his device with binary code. Following the game's first boot, Sebastian started experiencing events that would leave him in pure shock. Messages written in blood spelling Yixmen and Young Blood appeared. Alongside it, someone kept on knocking at his door each night at exactly 4 a.m. As it was escalating, it came to a point of blood and cut off animal fingers showing up at his doorstep, which began being filmed by Sebastian, so his friends were aware of the situation. In the fear for his safety, he avoided the police and hid the USB drive in cement. At the time of these events unfolding, Kozeno was on a trip. Returning from it, he and Sebastian dug deeper, coming across encrypted files and another version of the game. With some time passing by, Sebastian would end up filming his final video. It showed him being harassed in his own home, before disappearing, never to be seen again. The case gained attention in a Facebook group Sebastian used to be a part of, but it was later deleted and Sebastian was forgotten. Kozeno, still unsettled, decided to document it himself. With no success, he hoped someone else could find a solution, as he shared the link to the very last known USB content across the internet. That so-called link now loops back to us. The reason I've been delaying the QR code is because that same code from the Left 4 Dead 2 map links to a folder containing the final files to be discovered. We reach a moment of dreading for an answer, as scanning the code redirects us to a download link for an archive titled Video and Point EXE Yixmen. The download goes 4 ways: a video, 2 text files filled with binary code, and a game. I turned my attention to the binary code, starting with the translation of 88.txt, which resulted in missing blood, income 3%, remuneration 44%, purity 67%, Yixmen 1%, reality 55%, oxidation 77%, effect 5%, young blood 3%, without residue. Now as it goes for the second text file, after being deciphered we're shown a request stating .exe number 4, pen drive 14, increment zone 24. If you have this and are the person we are looking for, please retrieve the following pen drive on the 31st of May 2021 at the same place, no details. Blue pen drive. Yixman is among us. We know about your cooperation, pen drive 14. While one points towards a strange formula, the other is a request on the return of a blue flash drive, asking it to be returned. We can imagine this flash drive as the same one Sebastian hid in cement, and the same one the two friends found in an abandoned building. There are still two files to look through. The first we'll look at is the video, where retro-like music plays over unidentifiable and eerie footage that I'll let you see for yourself first. Warning, it includes extreme flashing lights and disturbing imagery for anyone who may be sensitive to it. With everything jumping out at you, let's first slow it all down and take it brick by brick. The starting piece of footage with any connections is this static covered body with a disturbing expression. That same image is spotted as the thumbnail of a Yixman group the GNOME is a part of on Steam. Further repetition shows itself with what appears to be a masked object or creature holding a piece of paper that's notes still remain unknown to me. As for the last piece of material is the snippet including a pair of feet. The video contains someone's feet being raised and the music following becoming piercingly louder with more unrecognizable footage. Now the video may not make much sense for now, so let me explain my thought behind it. It's not too bold to say that all of this is focused around a cult, Yixman. For the final section of the video including feet, I can only imagine death being the leading factor. Not sure on the cause of it, but I can say with confidence that once the music changes tone, it points to a grim fate. It took me a couple of moments, but you do remember how I mentioned earlier Sebastian recorded his final video where he was harassed? What if this was the video? Now all of this links up with the last file we receive, titled Yixman. The executable turns out to be a game where you play in a black and white 2D environment as a little lad with a hat, starting out in room 1. It begins with you entering a house, then reveals bloodstains. After a short distance is crossed, you approach a rotting body on the floor with a ghostly figure standing above it, having long dark hair and a dress that is covered in blood at the sleeve's end. Getting closer, random imagery fills your screen as you return to the starting area, being transported to room 4. You continue walking, now being met with a man similar to yourself holding something over his head. He disappears and a darker environment takes over until you approach a horrid sight of a decapitated head similar to yours hung on a streetlight, with blood still dripping on the floor. Moving below it causes it to fall on you as more imagery is revealed. Now being under a single lit streetlight, you let the clock tick by as a cloaked entity begins heading your way, turning off the light on contact. It walks past you, and as you follow it, rocks and crosses are revealed that end with a red and black patterned pit you fall down. Suddenly stuck in a room, you soon begin to realize something is closing in on you. Now the following moments end up being very flashy. Even with me tuning it down, anyone that may be sensitive to flashy imagery has been warned. The images displayed there show more uncanny expressions and some that contain binary code. Finishing the game, you find yourself back in room number 1. The only difference being that you can pass by the ghostly figure inside the house this time and fall down into a never-ending drop that acts as the ending. Thinking about the game, it keeps on having me think about Sebastian. Was the game just showing his final memories? But in reality, the ending of the game is nowhere close. There are certain routes you can take differently, which ends up revealing hidden rooms. For example, if you avoid the falling head, take extra steps until coming across a corrupted character that stands still, approaching him will display an image that does not go away no matter what, forcing you to restart the game. But if we turn back from the glitched character and return towards your starting point, you will be met with an entity. Approaching it transports you close to your house again, this time there being no ghost, but rather text that changes itself to "Yix-Men will not forgive you." Going back again initiates the game to have the lights flickering and an entity standing outside your door with room 22 written on the wall in blood. From what I've been able to discover, you can either stand in the never-ending chaos or move forward, which results in yet another endless pit. Now, let's take a look at the game from a different view. While the entity transports you towards a corrupted ending with more factors showing the Yix-Men and their deity inside the game, what's with the glitched character? His act prevents us from playing the game and some other sites crash our experience. So the real question would be, is that character trying to save us from a horrible fate? They are maybe trying to escape themselves. On closer inspection of the imagery that jumps out at you during gameplay, there are a few frames that hide encrypted messages with only 2 deciphers sticking with me. The first one being, "You through, get me out. GH, the code, I can see, and room 24. Putting those in a more plausible order, it comes out to be, "Get me out, I can see you through the code, room 22. Now the second deciphered image too mentions room 22, it being, "Room 22, it's there. It must be the file I lost. I don't remember how to get there. Gar 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 gar. Yix-Men is the hit." The gar gar part could be a mistake on the translation, but after checking it out myself, it seemed to fit, although still has possibilities of flaw in the meaning. There are extra deciphers if you reverse the audio from the downloaded video, but when I gave it a try, my results were different from Nick's, and it doesn't seem to have any key findings, so we'll leave that out for now. Similar situation for some images we gain from the game files provided by Nick, as some don't carry much weight, while the others are still a mystery I couldn't pass. This ends the hunt for clues and ideas, as all is presented right in front of us. Now the only job left to be done is connecting together our research and creating results for the Darkest Left 4 Dead 2 ARG. In the depths of the Yix-Men ARG, the true story didn't originally start with Left 4 Dead 2, but rather a dark pact. The Yix-Men are a cult, but one that remains hidden from our eyes. I believe it was all set into motion by the person we recognize as Gnome, a curiosity-driven user who created an online cult, starting small with Steam groups, eventually evolving into the cursed game that claimed Sebastian, who found it in an abandoned building. The game created by Gnome seems to twist and manipulate the memories of its victims once they begin playing it. We witness this firsthand when we step into a house stained with blood and its walls covered in writings. Then, as we progress, we're haunted by entities outside our door, creeping into our daily lives as we follow different paths. Did you ever notice how unnervingly familiar this feels to what Sebastian experienced? A realization that had me on edge is that the dark entities haunting you throughout the game? They are likely the remnants of previous Yix-Men victims, souls, trapped in the game's twisted loop. The game Sebastian played were fragmented memories of the previous player before they too were taken. The same pattern repeats for each individual. They play the game and experience the prior player's final moments just to be corrupted. And this is where the story truly begins to unravel. Sebastian's final video confirmed his disappearance, but in truth, he wasn't killed. His mind and soul were absorbed just like all the others, and at a certain point in the game, we come across a glitched entity, a soul trapped in limbo. Could that be Sebastian? His will still fighting back to prevent himself from becoming like the rest who now eternally suffer, screaming to be saved? All flashing imagery and cryptic messages such as, "I can see you through the code," and those regarding Room 22 could be his last attempts to communicate with us. Before vanishing, he and Coseno delved through the encrypted files, attempting to put a stop to it all, even burying the flash drive to stop the files from spreading, but to no avail. The repeated mention of Room 22 turns everything back around. It's the key to breaking the curse, something the X-Men fear. As the game indicates, when we're at Room 22's doorstep, chaos erupts. Currently, our only option of going forward limits us to move into a closing path yet again. Now the glitched entity too freezes our game once being approached, forcing us to retry. But I believe the case here aims at Sebastian preventing us from being corrupted, forcing us to restart the game until we can find Room 22 and finish what he in his final moments could not. The connection to memories becomes clearer now. The way we stumbled upon this file was through a beloved game from our past, in combination with the nostalgia thriving map mod to lure in a larger audience. It's the perfect trap. Gnome's endgame could be sacrificing enough lives in order to cross the worlds of reality and game, creating carnage we cannot fathom. The worst part turns out being that his success is slowly growing, due to the fact that his victims such as Sebastian himself experience these creatures and anomalies in their day-to-day life after starting the curse. While I can't pinpoint the full length of this project, there's one thought that shook me to my core. When Sebastian found the flash drive, it wasn't just a random discovery. The abandoned hotel possibly could have been a place he used to be scared of or some core memory that made it a perfect place for his finding. But I don't think that's the case. I believe Gnome deliberately placed the flash drive there, ensuring Sebastian would find it, making him the next victim and continuing the loop. Although I began to wonder, how would Gnome know Sebastian was going to be there? He went to that abandoned building with just one other person. What if the person who posted the files online asking for help in finding Sebastian did it with the sole intention of spreading this curse to a wider margin? The same person who responded on the original Reddit post, warning others to stay away from the X-Men, did they do it to protect others or to prevent anyone from trying to stop the loop? What if the Steam user Gnome is also Sebastian's friend and the one who started it all, better known as Coseno? This entire mystery offers so much, and maybe more that hasn't been found out yet, which only puts up the question of what undiscovered truth still lurks right beneath our noses. Most of it comes from the possibility that this isn't a fully finished project, which Nick and Psina both pointed out. Although I have a feeling there is more to it. The game too feels like it still hides something, but I guess for now, we'll just have to wait and see. There is one assumption I made which could have changed the outcome by a bit, which was that the friend who went with Sebastian to the hotel wasn't referred to by any name by Coseno. Now, as I assume that friend to be Coseno, there is still a possibility that the Gnome's hidden identity for now remains unknown. With this video, I had two objectives. The first was to cover this chilling project and put some light on it alongside the research done by Nick, Psina, and Yolo. The second objective was to bring more attention towards the potential Left 4 Dead 2 has with such ideas. There are probably many more hidden horror projects like this one spread throughout the entire workshop, or possibly there's people who have a wish of starting an ARG or online mystery themselves but don't know where to start. I'm hoping I did this ARG justice, just as much as I hope this video brought joy to those who crave for mystery content based around older releases like Left 4 Dead 2. If you know of an online mystery I should try covering, let me know down below in the comments. While you're down there, what do you think about the mystery? Do you have a theory of your own? Share all of your opinions down there and let me know what you think. With this channel being still quite small, I practically read and respond to everyone's comments. And as always, please do consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video if you enjoy my work and want to see more. But to bring it to an end as well as not to waste any more of your time, I hope you have a great, and I mean great, rest of your day.